5 years of Super League Triathlon, 5 years of incredible victories and memorable battles. And as we arrive here in London, the stage is set for another season of the biggest names in short course racing, creating the biggest moments in the sport. 4 rounds across 3 continents in 8 weeks, all starting here in West India Quay in London's Canary Wharf. 40 of the very best athletes in the world, one incredible cobblestone line course, a very big crowd, and I can say plenty to look forward to.
Being in a Super League race is like being in a fight with a bear.
Intense, high pressured.
It rips you apart.
The fight's real from the start.
It burns your lungs.
Willing to put everything on the line.
The pace and intensity is way higher than any other triathlon discipline.
Oh, there's a crash at the back.
Best athletes in the world.
Winning is addictive. There is no better feeling.
This is what Super League racing is all about.
This is the future of professional triathlon. If you don't see that, then you're not paying attention.
Hello and welcome along to round 1 of the Super League Triathlon Championship Series here in London. It all kicked off in spectacular fashion, and I'm delighted to say that Tim Don joins me now. What a day for you. What a women's race.
Oh, it was a fantastic women's race. The way those sharks took it out in that swim, they really kept the pressure on. And then to see Beth Potter right up there, Sophie Caldwell would have been going, wow, the race is on.
All the sharks up there, all 5 of them are having an absolute stormer, if you don't mind, as they head under the bridge. Colwell at the front, Potter there as well.
Taylor Spivey, you know, she's won races like this before. She knows how to win them. She hasn't had the best season. So when it came to that last swim, it was really, really important for Jean to have a really, really good swim.
Look at these 3 fighting it out in front in this last 300-metre swim. Jean Leher, they're just trying to sort out her goggles. That's pretty tricky when you're at that pace.
I think everything's pretty tricky when you're at that pace.
Talking of tactical approaches, how much did that play into how things all unfolded today?
Massively, I think. I think especially for the Eagles, because we could watch everything. We were the weaker team, a bit like in cycling. You know, when you've got 5 in the same team riding together and you've got 1 from another team, they're very much the passenger. So for Jean, she could just be there or thereabouts. She didn't have to show a card. She didn't have to do any work.
Leher's actually dropped a little off the back of the group now. Not by much, but she finished, her best was 4th in Munich, Jean Leher, so she will not be wanting to finish below that.
Well, you've seen the pace with those gaps opening up. Even Beth Potter was fighting to stay on Kate Woff's wheel. That gap opened up and Leher was distanced.
This is the Sharks' opportunity. This is their home race. This is their strongest team. They really need to get the points.
Still anyone's game. We're talking about 1.6 Ks. Fast transition required. Spivey out first again, ahead of Colwell again. Potter in 3rd. Jean Leher and Kate Woff cross together. They're the 2 fastest runners in this group on your screen. But let's see, in this running race between some of the best triathletes ever to do it, who has the legs in this one, who takes the top spot, and who takes bragging rights. Colwell and Spivey together. Potter has lost a little bit of ground in the opening few hundred metres.
She always takes the time, Potter, to wind into her run. She comes from a running background. She's got the experience. She had to work on that bike, like we said. We saw, but she needs to slowly ease up on these 2, knowing she'll know they have the short shoots. They've got the 5-second advantage. She doesn't want to push out too early on this first lap and leave nothing left for that final lap where it all happens.
It does seem to me that Kate Woff is losing a bit of time in transition, because they all came in together, and yet again, the same as the last transition from the bike to run, she lost quite a bit of time there and having to work hard to get back on, and it might only be a second or 2, but over a mile, that's a lot.
The hair looks great, doesn't she? Really working their arms, trying to close that gap on the Potter. Potter was trying to ease herself in the run, but there's definitely the grimace there. Spivey looking great, but Sophie Caldwell, all day, she's been very, very eager to set on the front, happy to set the pace.
She looks like she's doing it easy. She's got a nice, easy style. When you look at, compared to the cadence of turnover of Jean Leher, Sophie Caldwell looks like she's running in slow motion. Short shoot, taken. Spivey, Caldwell. Now the gap. Potter looks up and realises it's gone from 3 to 15 metres, and she has to accelerate out of that dead turn, such as the short shoot area in this course at the far western end.
Spivey off the cobbles, very smart running by Taylor Spivey. She's showing her experience throughout this whole first opening round of this year's series. Just cleverly positioned herself all day.
These two need to absolutely work together to keep Potter off of their heels, and it looks like they have actually extended that gap from what it was. So the pair have accelerated, and it's Caldwell and Spivey about to cross for the last time, which means we've got about 800 metres, and Lahair has overtaken Beth Potter, who's looked behind her then for Waff. So maybe Potter doesn't have what it takes after streeting the field in Paris at the test event for the Olympics last weekend. Caldwell was nowhere last weekend, and now she's at the front, and there's about 800 metres to go as they head onto the black carpet for the last time. And who's going to do it? The Warriors or the Sharks? That's the question.
Wow, the hair is looking incredible, isn't she? She's pulled back all that time that she lost on the short shoot coming out of transition. But having to work really, really hard. Jan Lahair looking over her shoulder there, but Spivey now has taken the lead. She's working really hard, and Sophie's having to work even harder to stay on her shoulder.
I think Sophie will be confident in this. She knows Taylor Spivey's won one of these races last year, second overall in the series, but she's got a look in her eye. Sophie Caldwell, but
Lahair is
moving up on this, and I think she sniffs a win here.
Well, if she did take this win, it would be a famous one, having sat in continuously, has never finished better than fourth, finished 7th overall last year, but she had plenty of top 10s. She's had a pretty solid 2023, including a 5th in the Cagliari World Triathlon Championship Series, and she won in the European Champs in Madrid, and she is ready to go.
She benefited from that bike riding. She sat on the back of that group. Potter, a casualty of that, had to do a lot of work to close that gap. She's got a bit of help from Waff. Both those athletes are the ones off the back now. Lahair was able to sit in, benefit, rest those legs, and now has put herself in a position with a shootout with two athletes I think she could run, she believes she could run over the top of.
So that short shoot, just to reiterate, they take it once. Those two will not take another short shoot. They only get that advantage once, as these three are in a straight shootout over the last 400 to 500 metres to decide the spots on the podium, and Lahair has muscled up into the lead on the inside of Caldwell for the last time they take the dead turn.
Great running. Inside run, make the right-hander. She's got the inside run there.
Who's got the sprint? Who has got the sprint?
Lahair's
gone. She has gone for it early. She must be confident she can hold on for another 300. Can Caldwell respond to this? I'm not sure that she can.
Well, still a couple of 100 metres to go. She's gone quite early, but Sophie looking over her shoulder to see where Taylor's fighting. But it's all about Jan Lahair right now.
What a run. One of the great runs from 5th to 1st. And Lahair looks like she's got it. Caldwell doesn't have a response. And Jean Lahair raced for a long time for France, now races for Luxembourg. Looking behind her, can she hold on? Spivey is having a go at Caldwell. She's not going to make it stick. But Jean Lahair from Luxembourg is going to upstage the Sharks. After dominating all day, Jean Lahair is going to take it out. What a race for her. Sophie Caldwell 2nd, Taylor Spivey 3rd, and they all outran Beth Potter.
Let's focus now on the spectacular work of Jean Lahair. What a finale, but also consistency. She stayed calm.
And you know what? In that first and second round, she still ran the quickest because she was last off the bike, but she ran through people. So she had it in there. She just needed to believe. She's the current European champion, and she's had a really good start to the season. But I think at the moment, she's still in disbelief, but I'm really going to hopefully try and turn that into confidence going forward. Because it's one thing to get on the podium, but for her to win, that is really, really important. And obviously that we, the Eagles, needed the points today. We didn't have our A team, but yeah, super happy for her. And yeah, no, only going to get stronger.
Fanny Salai had a very disappointing, difficult day, but she's just spectacular. And I just want to say one more time, 15 years of age.
It blows my mind. I've got a 12-year-old daughter, and when I think in 3 years' time to be racing on this stage, the maturity she shows, you know, when things go wrong, she didn't give up. She got back on her bike after the accident, after the crash, and she carried on pushing. She's a tough cookie. She will learn from this. She will not be disheartened. She'll go back home with her father and, you know, with her coach, and they'll dissect it. I know they will. She'll come back to Toulouse, free as a bird, ready to go again, and I really, really believe she's going to grow throughout this series. And people talk about this great story. I'm telling you now, this is only chapter 1 of her story.
We're going to have a look at the athlete leaderboard after this round for the women, and if you missed it, well, go back and watch it again, because Jean Lahair was supreme to win it for the Eagles from Caldwell and Taylor Spivey. Beth Potter faded it late, and Kate Waff rounded out the top 5.
Every run I felt really good, but I was doing really bad on the bike, so I think I will miss some energy at the end. But since few days I'm feeling really good. I think it's maybe altitude, I don't know. Had to come down, but yeah, I quite can't believe it. I'm like, during a moment I was, I'm fourth, like my best result last year, it's already super good. But then I was, maybe podium, but the win, I could never think about it, and I'm like, wow. I hope it will be the same every time, but I don't think so. But I really enjoy it now. For now, I can't believe it, but in 2 minutes, I will just enjoy.
What a brutal race. You secured the podium. How was it out there?
Oh, just as savage as I remember, to be fair. But no, what a great atmosphere. Definitely there's more people out than last year, and it was just amazing to be back racing in London, back in the UK. So yeah, really, really good day out. Everyone was kind of saying how well the Sharks were going to do, so it was great that all 5 of us were so high up, and we got points for the disciplines as well. So yeah, good day out for the Sharks.
Oh my gosh, that was rough, and I didn't set myself up great at the start, but I tried to be smart throughout the race, and somehow I kept making my way up.
How do you keep a cool head in that? It was so close right the way to that final.
Oh, it was really tough because I knew, Beth just came off a win at the test event. I've been battling a bit of pain in my ankle for, a few weeks now, and I wasn't even going to start today, so to come away with third is just, incredible.
Let's have a look back at the story of the race, and very, very quickly in this one, it was all about the Sharks and a couple of Warriors. 5 Sharks all together at the front, looking like a team time trial, and Taylor Spivey at the front trying to push the pace. The first run, well, that was easy done by Beth Potter, and we thought she looked very ominous as Jean Lahaye tacked herself onto the back of the group. There was still plenty of work to do for her on the bike. She said admittedly that she hadn't had great bikes, as Sophie Colwell and Taylor Spivey took the short shoot, and somehow Jean Lahaye running a nearly sub 3-minute kilometres to cross the line for an outstanding win that shocked even her as well. What a race from the Sharks. They picked up every single swim point and went on with it from there. A few in the run, but in a race, 56 for a total of 80. The Warriors, unexpected, pick up some nice bike and run points to end on 51. The Eagles on 26, and the Scorpions, they have work to do. 11 overall points for a total of 17. There'll be a big cheer for Alex Yee. He walks out knowing that he's the favourite for this one. Won Paris Test event last week by a mile. He's won Super League overall as well. He has 2 Olympic medals, and the Sharks are ready to do it.
Michelle, you're understandably beaming here. More of the same with this men's squad?
Absolutely. If my men's team is going to be as strong as my women's, which I know it is, with Alex Yee, Jonny Brownlee and the rest of them, it's going to be an absolute showdown now here for this first race.
Let's do it. Straight into the water, clean as you like, and the Scorpions in the middle need to get out. It's a bit of a washing machine there. And I think that might be Stapley closest to us. Those big long arms of Max Stapley, who now trains and lives in Leeds and racing for GBR. What a start he's had.
Big start. They get that open water on that right side of them, on that side of the pontoon, so they get more. They don't get it bunched up in the middle. The Scorpion's probably in the worst position. Reed was keen to get off the marks very, very fast, and he's done that, and Schumann will be the benefactor of that on his inside hip.
Just look at Max Stapley's stroke, though. How relaxed is it? He's taking far fewer strokes than many of the other athletes. And I think last year was his first season racing in Super League. He made a lot of mistakes, but he's a lot more mature and experienced this year.
Yeah.
Great to see him out in front in the early stages of this race, but where he should be.
If you look at our swim points, both across men and women's, we delivered massively on that, and we really got a massive gap on the rest of the teams. Max Stapley just went after it from the gun, and he delivered that short shoot and the fastest swim, which I was absolutely beaming about as he came in. Alex was a little bit further back, but he got himself up there on the bike, thankfully. And, you know, the team, as a team, we work really well together. We always said we were going to come in here and work as a team, and Dan Dixon, I think, helped Alex close that gap on the bike as well. Max was off the front, and Jonny, Dan, you know, and Alex worked well together to kind of close that gap in and bring it all back together, which was great. So yeah, it put us in a really good, strong position coming into the second race. And then the boys just stayed, you know, well out of trouble, right at the front, and got the job done really well today. I actually said to my team yesterday, like, be prepared for the unexpected, because you know in these type of races things can happen and it'll just come at you unexpectedly.
Brownlee off the front. 4 Sharks and a Scorpion. Taylor Reid holding Chris McCormack and Michael Killiam's hopes in his hand as he's surrounded by Olympic medalists and single discipline superstars, Stapley being the super swimmer, Dixon being the next generation coming out of the north of England, along with Yee, of course. And won't the home crowd love this, watching top 4 of the top 5. Sanchez and Schoeman working together about 8 seconds further back to try and stay in touch and put 3 Scorpions up the pointy end, and Schoeman's going to have one of the great run swims if he's going to be there at the back end.
Yee, it's a stone throw from here. There will be so many fans that have come down.
We're not going to be too complacent because we know that other teams are coming after us hard.
Yee out the front, 1.6 kilometres to go, 2 laps. Reid already looks like he has lost this one, and Yee has taken it by the scruff of the neck. Can Jonny Brownlee respond?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. This is a tough one. Alex Yee has gone out like this is a mile race on the track, and Brownlee will be giving absolutely everything he's got. But that's difficult for Jonny Brownlee when we look at the pace that Alex Yee has gone off. Reid has dropped off a little bit, but he's got himself a good gap over Sanchez.
Yee very, very comfortable. He raced with purpose. He came into that transition first. He moved out quick and applied pressure instantly.
It is all about Alex Yee, and what a show Alex Yee and Jonny Brownlee have put on for the crowds that have come out here today to support them both in London. There he's going, come on, I want more of that, I want more. He knows this is all his race right now. He can afford to almost jog home.
He can indeed, and he wasn't targeting it last year. He still came here and he finished 3rd. And this time he has done what he wanted to do, what he came here to do, which is get rid of his Sharks teammate Jonny Brownlee, street everyone on the run, turn around and enjoy one of the great crowds in triathlon. Alex Yee is having fun with it, and why not onto the black carpet? One of the greats already in his young career, Alex Yee, is your London winner. Jonny Brownlee goes 1-2. Couldn't be better for the Sharks overall or for this home crowd. And Taylor Reid with his best ever result in Super League Triathlon.
Who's going to challenge the Sharks?
Well, some of the big guns are missing, I must admit, from the other teams. I mean, we know we've got Hayden Wald coming back into it for the Scorpions. And, you know, the Scorpions in the men's today were quite prominent up there. So I would say that he's going to add a lot of value to that team. We know he's a phenomenal athlete. He's almost flawless when it comes to Super League Triathlon racing. And so I am a little bit concerned that he's coming back into it next week. And also Matt Hauser at the Eagles as well.
The top 7 features all of the Sharks except for Chris Perham, who was disqualified. So what a round for the RTP Sharks.
You know, I don't think you can discount anyone at this point. It's very early days. Again, I'm not going to get too complacent that, oh, yeah, we've got this series wrapped up, because we certainly haven't. I want to keep my athletes on their toes and make sure that they're ready for the next round. And we're just going to take round by round and just make sure that we're full focused, and we just got our head in the game the whole time.
In the end, the run strength of Alex Yee was just too much. We thought it would happen, and it did. Jonathan Brownlee makes it a GBR and Sharks 1-2, and Taylor Reid picks up his first podium in 3 years of Super League. Roberto Sanchez on debut as well picks up 4th from Max Stapley, Dan Dixon, Henry Schumann.
Oh man, racing in London, you just can't be here, home crowd, like you just really feel that advantage, and well, the crowd really showed up today and I felt their presence, and yeah, thank you to everyone for showing up, and yeah, really pleased with my race. It is reminiscent of Commonwealth Games last year, being able to have all those people out there, and the UK crowd really show up, and yeah, no, thanks so much to them for coming out. It's just set up a really exciting series with so many great guys to come next week and onwards.
Alex and myself were obviously first and second, but it was actually teamwork the whole way through, the most important. Yeah, Max was brilliant on the swim, and then the second swim on the bike as well, so you know, there's little things you can't even see that was more important.
Well, I was going to say, how much can you play those team tactics to your advantage out there? Because it is so fast, that turnaround.
Well, actually last year, not a lot, but this year we really did. Like I say, Max led us out on the swim, Pezzo as well on the swim, and then on the bike, Max and Alex working really well, and Dan as well, so we literally controlled it the whole way as a team.
Firstly, are you okay? How are you doing? You were a bit on the floor then.
Yeah, no, I've been throwing up, but that's all good. I'm so stoked. That's my first Super League podium, and I'm just so amped. That was epic. I loved every second of it. It was so hard. The boys made me bleed for it, and I was just holding on for dear life in that last run, and then I had a big chunder on the ground, and I just still so stoked.
For anyone that can't see this, you still have the sick bucket here.
Yes, that one's empty, but I did fill up a whole one of these. That's okay. That's all good after the race.
But it just shows what you put in out there, doesn't it? It's brutal.
Oh yeah, Super League's brutal. I know when I get on that start line, if I've done it properly, I'm going to be throwing up the end. That's just what Super League is, and I love it.
Let's look back at how it went. The Sharks were strong off the front. Marcus Day enjoying his debut. Stumbled his way to a short shoot alongside a Stapley short shoot from the swim. But Max Stapley, the big easy, doing it easy at the front of the swim and taking some Sharks with him. Taylor Reid was stuck in the middle of those Sharks with Dixon hanging in there as well, but it wasn't long before it was just a race in 3. Yee, Brownlee, and then Reid, who was out of the last swim first, and they fought it out. But the run, well, Alex Yee just has an extra gear. We've seen that, and he enjoyed every single minute of the last straight for the win. Well, the Sharks, they had 80 after the women's race, and they finish on 148, just shy of double anyone else. The Warriors hang on with 51 in that one to end on 75. The Scorpions elevated themselves from 17 to 65, which leaves the Eagles last of all on the team points board. The Sharks, they did what they came to do, really, didn't they? I mean, everyone expected to do that, and that's exactly what they did.
Oh, and more. It was absolutely amazing. And of course, Michelle does lose a few athletes that will be sitting out at the race in Toulouse, but they will be back, of course, in Malibu. And I think they're going to be a strong team all the way. They're going to be tough to beat. Come on, the Brits. They're good, aren't they? We know they are.
I've got to dive in here. Will, have you got your breath back yet?
It was a lot, right?
Race.
I mean, it's your one first up, so you now realise how fast it goes.
I'm out of breath, that's for sure.
Yeah, what a race it was. It was really interesting. And the best thing about it is in Toulouse, in a week, we welcome back names like Matt Hauser, like Christian Blumenfeld, like Hayden Wild, like Cassandra Beaugrand. So the entire complexion of the racing is going to be completely different, and that's what I look forward to. You never know what you're going to get. Now, just tell me, what about your first taste? How do you feel now after that?
I'm absolutely exhausted. Biggest moment out of the 2 races for you today, Will?
Oh, John Lahare's last 800 metres. I mean, she sat in, she fought, she looked like she was going off the back, she kept yo-yoing, we heard her say that, and when you look at Beth Potter and Sophie Cole, well, they're strong athletes. John Lahare, you think of her as maybe a little step down. Well, not anymore, because she really showed what she had today, and I loved her interviews. I loved how much she loved it. And Taylor Reid, too. Taylor Reid's interview. Oh, beautiful.
Just amazing, complete with a sick bucket. Annie, the moment of the day for you.
Alex Yee. I don't need to say any more, do I? Alex Yee, what an absolute champion.
Annie, Will, a pleasure as always. Thank you so much. Well, in just a week's time, we'll be back with all the action live from Toulouse. Make sure you tune in and join us then. Bye for now.